morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, I want to ask the question, was the Pokemon TCG Go expansion a mistake? And I don't ask this as a negative thing. I personally love the Pokemon Go expansion. My point is, this is a set which is clearly selling less than expected, where neither sealed products nor singles are really holding their value at all. And what does that mean for future sets? People have been asking the question quite a lot lately. Well, hang on a second. You know, if we've had a Pokemon Go expansion, maybe we could have a Pokemon Sleep expansion. That would be fun. Personally, I recently watched Pokemon Concierge, and I want a Pokemon Concierge expansion. But the simple fact is, this is not a set which has done very well, at least compared to expectations, and that could have knock-on effects, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. And it really occurred to me when I looked the other day, and I found out that, you know, the big expensive product, the signature product, was being sold well below retail, and it's been a while at this stage. You know, bearing in mind this set was actually released back in July 2022. So we're 18 months on from the release of this set. This should be the point at this stage where we are going, it's kind of getting a bit harder to find at this stage. No, it's not getting a bit harder to find. You see, I was seeing this selling off at San Antonio Regionals for like $30 or something ridiculous. Now, I'm not finding it quite that cheap in the UK, which makes me a little bit sad. But I can, for instance, find it for a fair amount below retail. Let's take Jet Cards as an example. It's down from $52.50, which is retail, to £35. Okay, fine, it's not as cheap as like $30, but this is significantly below retail. This is basically, you know, the big signature product from the set. It's got the alternate art Dragonite V and V-Star and all of that. And it's being sold significantly below retail, about a third off. And we're 18 months away from the release of the set. This is when products should be starting to go up in price. This should be when products are starting to spike. And what we're seeing instead here is actually these products just kind of being a little bit cheap. And I'm not going to keep going for all of the products here, but we do see a similar thing just kind of going on here across the products. Everything is being sold at a fairly nice reduction, honestly. I mean, one of the things which I really, really liked was the Radiant Eevee collection. It should be a $50 product, but if I go to bulldogtoys.com, to be clear, these are not shops that I am endorsing or anything like that. These are just ones I'm finding on Google that are listing them very cheap. As always, please do your own research before using any of these sites. This is not a sponsored video, and I'm not in any way, shape, or form endorsing any of the websites I'm talking about in this video. But they've got it listed for 40% off. It's a £30 product. It's one that gets you all the packs, the Radiant Eevee promo, the Radiant Eevee pin. It's awesome. And this is where we go across the board. I don't know, I'm using UK sites here, so let's go over to US eBay, because, you know, that's what a lot of you are going to be able to use. And I told you I could pick it up for $30 over at San Antonio Regionals. Here's a listing in the US for $28.88, and 2,848 of them have sold. So maybe it's a scam and they've managed to scam 2,848 people, but I think it's far more likely that actually this is a legit listing, and it is, I wasn't lying to you, available pretty easily for $30 over in the US. I should have picked it up when I was at San Antonio Regionals, honestly. Could have done an opening on the plane, it would have made me happy. Never mind. Sealed products for Pokemon Go are absolutely crashing, and that's showing us very simply that it's not selling anywhere near as well as Pokemon thought it would. And it's really simple, right? It's really easy to figure this out, because If it's getting super cheap, it means Pokemon made too many of them, shops have too many of them, shops are lowering the price. And if it's 18 months later and stores are discounting all these products heavily, it means they've got way too many, which means Pokemon made too many, which means it hasn't sold anywhere near as well as we would have expected. And as a side note, if we go on to the Pokemon Center UK and just have a look at some of this stuff, see what's in stock, a lot of this Pokemon Go stuff is still in stock over on the Pokemon Center UK. In fact, pretty much all of it. I'm not going to sit and go through every single product, but it seems like basically everything is still in stock on the Pokemon Center UK. And the good news is, it's all in stock for retail. But like I've just told you, honestly, at this stage, you should not be paying retail for sealed Pokemon Go products. Like, the Pokemon Center at this stage is something to keep an eye on, but friendly advice from your old pal Wassy here, wait until the thing you want that you should have bought earlier but you didn't buy earlier and that was silly is sold out everywhere and you can't get it cheap, then go to the Pokemon Center. Because at the moment, yes, everything's available on the Pokemon Center, but it's available cheaper elsewhere. But in terms of singles, because this has a bit of a knock-on effect, right? If the set as a whole is super cheap and all the products are generally being sold below retail, that should mean that the singles are pretty gosh darn cheap. And frankly, there is a strong argument here that when it comes to Pokemon Go, pick up things which are super cheap and have a bunch of packs in because the packs are ridiculously cheap. But otherwise, in terms of singles, you honestly might as well just focus on the singles, if I'm honest with you. Because the singles, as a general rule here, are getting so cheap that it's not really worth going and buying packs to try and pull the singles that you want. You might as well at this stage just go and buy all the singles, because again, and I do mean this very sincerely, they're very, very, very cheap. Like, the number one card in the entire set is your Rainbow Rare Mewtwo V-Star. Not sure why, incidentally. I mean, I know it's Mewtwo V-Star, but the V we're going to talk about in a second is way better. Maybe it's a pull rate thing. I don't know. But this is the number one card in the set, and right now, according to TCG Player, it's basically a $29 card. The recent sales are all $29. And this is the number one card in the set. Number two card in the set is Dragonite V-Star, the Rainbow Rare, which is a $16 card right now. That's the number two card in the set. Number three card in the set, which should be the number one card in the set, is your alternate art Mewtwo V, which is a $15 card. They're your top three. There is almost no value in singles. And even from there, it starts to crater pretty quickly. We do have the Gold Mewtwo, which is about a $14 card, which I still think is better than the Rainbow Rare. Maybe it's just me. And everything else is $10 or below. Like Radiant Charizard, ridiculously playable card. And it's a Charizard. Yes, it's like a $7, $8 card. Although, admittedly, we do need to remember that did receive an alternate art reprint, which did actually make it much more available. So maybe there is a slight explanation here in that, yes, it's a playable Charizard, but there was an alternate art in Crown Zenith, and I think it's pretty clear that the Crown Zenith print is better artwork. So maybe that's helped to keep it down a little bit as well. But like Radiant Blastoise, it's a $3 card. Full Art Dragonite V, $3 card. I'm going to keep going because there are some absolute bargains here. Radiant Venusaur, $3 card. Alternate Art Conkeldurr, $2 card. Full Art Professor's Research, $1.50. Yep. It was, yeah. Doesn't take long to get to very, very low prices. And look, the number 10 card in the set, in terms of value, is that Radiant Charizard at, $7, $8. But the number 12 card is your $3 Blastoise. This is a very, very cheap set. And look, in terms of playability, this is actually a very, very cool set. I've told you this before, but when it comes to, playable cards, Pokemon Go is a decent set. Like, nobody likes Block Snorlax, but it's still a good card that is seeing a whole bunch of play. I've already mentioned Radiant Charizard. We had Solrock and Lunatone, and okay, fine, they've not actually proven themselves to be good in the long run, but they had a bit of hype for a while. Don't forget that Zapdos is very, very good in those lightning decks to help you hit the numbers. Ditto is a kind of a cool card, which has seen a bit of play here and there. People are always trying to make Slacking V work. Okay, fine, it doesn't, but it's fun. Pokestop is a really good stadium that has seen a bunch of play and a bunch of love in a lot of decks. And my point here is, this is a cool set with a lot of very good cards in, but there is almost no value in the singles, and all of the products can be picked up pretty easily here below retail. Like, okay, fine, the Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer Box can't be picked up below retail very easily, but it's just available, as I showed you, on the Pokemon Center UK, and I know it's not available on the Pokemon Center US. It's sold out. Oh no. Yeah, you can still pick it up for like $60 on eBay. So even though it's sold out on the Pokemon Center, you can still actually get it on eBay without paying above retail. And this is kind of my point here. I don't think Pokemon Go was a mistake because it's a bad set. I love the Pokemon Go set. I think it's brilliant. And it's given us a lot of really playable cards. But clearly this was a set which was intended to be this fantastic set that bridged the gap between all those super casual Pokemon fans that only play Pokemon Go, like my dad, who plays a ridiculous amount of Pokemon Go, but has no interest in the rest of the franchise at all, and then the whole TCG game. That was supposed to be the point of Pokemon Go. And the amount of product which is now being sold, and seriously, if you want Pokemon Go, get it sooner rather than later. This isn't going to last forever. At some point, these products are going to sell out super cheap, and then the price is going to start rising. We've seen this time and again. Right now is a great time to pick up Pokemon Go. If you want to, I recommend very highly doing so. I know there's going to be a bunch of people out there right now that are going, oh yeah, I should pick up Pokemon Go, shouldn't I? And then they're going to forget. And then in like 5 years' time, they're going to go, oh, I meant to pick up Pokemon, and it's going to get ridiculous. And I'm not saying it's going to get ridiculous, but I am absolutely saying that right now, everything's super cheap, from singles to sealed products, and it's not going to last forever. You have been warned. Right, that's what you need to know, ladies and gentlemen, and now it's over to you guys. What do you think about the Pokemon Go set? Does the fact that it's sold clearly below expectations worry you in terms of not getting some other sets you might want to get in the future? Tell me all of your thoughts, your feelings, and opinions in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel, of course, like the lovely Jelena Renji, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.